Hi everybody and welcome to my sewing room. Today we're going to talk about some of the things that are included in the update to the Stellaire sewing machine. So don't go away. My name is Rosemary and this is Enchanting Rosemary Sewing and Embroidery. Okay, so as I said before, and I think I mentioned it in my last video, there is a new update to the Stellaire. And when they first came out with the Artspira app, which I thought was pretty cool, it took a little while for it to be included in the Stellaire. And I did not know that the reason for that was because they were also adding the My Connection to the Stellaire sewing machine. And I did a video before about My Connection on the Luminaire, and I think I even mentioned how disappointed that I was that it wasn't included in the Stellaire. And then one of my customers, her name is Patty, she came into the store and she mentioned that that's the reason why it took so long for the Stellaire update to come out, was because they were adding My Connection to it. And I'm so excited I had to go straight home and try it on my sewing machine, and I was able to update my machine. I want to be able to show you how to do that. At first I thought, well, that's okay, I already did a video on it on the Luminaire, but we were doing a class in the store the other day, and another one of my customers, her name is Arlene, she's a follower, she's a very sweet lady. She said, well, Rosemary, you have to do a video on that for those of us who just have the Stellaire. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit about the new My Connection on the Stellaire sewing machine. So let's go to the computer and I'm going to give you just a little bit of information on how to actually do that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go into Google Chrome. Let's open that. And then I'm going to type in support.brother.com. Okay, and then I'm going to click on that. Yeah, so did you mean support.brother.com? Yes, that's what I meant. So it's going to take me to this right here. And in this one, you can do downloads, you can do troubleshooting, you can even download your manual. So it's a pretty good site to go to if you need help from Brother at any time. I'm going to hit product search and I'm going to write in XE1. See, I did that wrong too. Let's do it again. XE1 and hit search. Oh, I did that wrong. XE1. That's better. Search. Okay, here's a picture of my Stellaire sewing machine. So I know I'm in the right place. Now I'm going to hit downloads. I'm going to tell it I have Windows 11. Okay. It's going to say update software. You should be at 1.50. This was released in October. So I'm going to hit update software. And then I'm going to scroll down and it's going to ask me to agree to their terms, and then it's going to automatically download that update for me. Then after I've updated it, it is going to give me directions step by step, what I need to do on my sewing machine, how I can check the number and my version of my sewing machine right there. And then it's going to say you need your computer, you need to copy to a stick, and then you need to hold down your threading button and turn on the machine, and your screen's going to change to load. This directions on this are so easy, and you'll be able to update your sewing machine so easily. So I'm going to X out of that, and then I'm going to go back into my Google, and I'm going to say Brother Canvas Workspace, which I already have on here because I've been there already a couple times. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to log in. And when I log in, it always opens this part first, and this is where you download this to a desktop version of Canvas Workspace. But I'm going to stay on here. You can see here's my whole pattern collection, designs, and everything. Up here is my account. I'm going to click on my account, and I'm going to, it'll probably say sign. Well, I already signed it, so I think that's what. Anyway, um, here's my machine registration. I'm going to click on machine registration, and it's telling me right here that I have two scanning cuts because I have an old scanning cut and my newest Disney one. And then it's telling me my two sewing machines. This is my Stellaire, and this is an old 2500 that I do most of my sewing on now. I don't really embroider on it very much, but I still registered it here. So if you need some help with this part, click on what is machine registration. And then it's going to say machine registration sewing machine. And for some reason, I do not know why, it does not have the XE1 listed here. I think it's because it's a new function, the My Connection function. But I just clicked on XP1 and it took me through step by step. It says you need your computer and your sewing machine. And when you've updated your machine to 1.50, you'll have a new page on it that says Canvas Workspace My Connection. And you click register on there, and it will take you through every single step. It's really, really informative and helpful, and you'll be able to register this. You will need the card that comes with your scanning cut that says My Connection on it, because it's going to ask you to put that number in there. So make sure you have that card. The rest of it goes together really fast and easy, and will be able to update your machine so that it will read My Connection. So now let's go to the machine. I want to show you some of the cool things you can do with this. Okay, here we are in front of my Stellaire sewing machine, and I want to show you that if I go into my settings menu up here on top, I can go to the last page on the Stellaire. And this is the new part that came up with my new update. And it says our Spear My Connection, and it's already been set up. And if you've gone ahead and done your setup, it will look like this. If not, it'll actually say activate, and you can activate it. So that should be all set up for you to go. And it will add some new buttons on here. So I went through all of these designs trying to find something that would make into a good applique, and to be absolutely honest with you, I couldn't find anything that I liked that worked the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to go into this button right here. This is my wireless button that will take me to anything I've transferred to my machine with my design database transfer that I've shown you before. It's a great program that you can use without having to put a lot of money out on it. Trust me, I have been doing embroidery a long time. I remember the days when you had to pay a lot of money just to see your embroidery designs and get them onto your sewing machine with a floppy or with a card or one of those other things. So this is kind of cool. I did want to let you know that the Disney characters and the Marvel characters are all protected. You cannot make appliques out of them. But this design up here is one I created myself. And I made this for my daughter-in-law. Her name is Sally, and she was having, somebody at her company was making a memory quilt, and she wanted the character Sally to be put on in her square. So we created that and embroidered it for her. So we're going to set that down. I'm going to push edit and size. Now you know that this button right here is going to allow you to size that up as big as you need it to be. Well, at least 100%. So we're going to make it as big as we can make it. Now I like this big, but what the problem is, there's a lot of stitching there. And it may not come out as good as I'd want it to if I embroidered this. So I'm going to make it into an applique. So I'm going to say, okay. Now the applique button has always been here. You've always been able to use it, but now you have another option that says applique patch. If you hit that, then what I can do is come down here and hit her face color, and it's going to show me the face color. Now, I could probably do this in another order. I just have played with it a little bit, and I know that if I do the face first, it will put it as an applique second. I don't know why, but that's the way it's working for me on this one. You may have to fiddle with it a little bit. But I selected that, and I'm going to hit next. And then I could make this a satin stitch and hit preview. And it does a nice satin stitch around the outside of this, but it's going to do a black outline afterwards, and I don't think I want a satin stitch on that. So I'm going to hit return. I didn't really need to hit return. Hit next. I'm going to do a zigzag stitch around it. Now up here on the top, you have three options. You have the A that's just a regular outline. You have the A that's the inside and the outside, and you have an A that's just the inside. If I select this, it will cut her eyes out. But when I hit preview, it stops me and says that it's going to overlap. And I think part of that has to do with where the eyes are so close right here. So I am not going to do that. I'm going to say just do the outline, and we can embroider the eyes on top, and then hit preview. And there's my applique. So I'm going to hit next and okay. I'm finished making that applique. Now I'm going to hit the applique again. And this time I want to pick her hair. And again, when I hit next, I don't want to do the inside part because of this really close proximity of the ear to the edge of the hair. It's going to tell me I can't do that. And I don't want to change anything. So I'm going to say, just do the outline and do a zigzag stitch and hit preview. And there's her hair. So I'm going to hit next. And it's telling me part of the texture just got covered up. And I'm not sure exactly what is being covered up. Probably something up in here, but I'm not going to stress about it because I think it comes out okay. And then I'm going to say, okay, so that part's finished, and I'm going to hit embroidery. And I want you to see that first it does her hair, and then it tacks it down, then it does her face, and that's a placement. You lay your fabric over that, tacks that down, does a little zigzag on it to make it from moving, and then it's going to go ahead and finish my embroidery out and do a black outline at the end. And I think it's going to come out pretty good. We're going to sew it up and we're going to see. But I wanted to show you that once you've got this done, hit memory. Once you hit memory, you have the same save buttons you had before, but now you have a button down here that will say that it will send it to my scan and cut. Now it's saying the data in the temporary data pocket will be automatically deleted after a certain period of time. So basically what that's saying is that it's not going to hold it in there for a long time. So if you're ready to send that, send it right now. Go over to your scan and cut it out. I'm not going to hit transfer because my scan and cut is not turned on, but you can transfer it, or you can actually just go ahead and do it the same way you've done it before without sending it to your scan and cut. But now you have that option where you have a wireless connection to your scan and cut, and you can send designs directly from your sewing machine to your scan and cut. And I'm going to just put it in my regular memory so I have that saved so I can sew it out for you. I'm going to hit return and delete. I also wanted to let you know that if you come in here and you pick something that's already an applique in your machine, you can set that down, push embroidery, memory, send that to my scan and cut that out as well. So you have a lot of really great new features in this, and I think you're going to love it. I hope you give it a try. Okay, so I went ahead and I sewed that out, and I did sew it out on Polar Fleece like I said I was going to, and I'll be absolutely honest with you, it did not come out well. It was too much thickness, and because the original design was a small design with just a single outline instead of a satin stitch, it didn't outline very well, and I didn't like it. So I went ahead and went back, and I did it with felt. And I used my magnetic hoop, and I used just a layer of thick tearaway with some 505 spray to spray the felt down, and then I sewed it out exactly the way their instructions did with the raw edge applique, and this is what I ended up with. I think she came out really, really cute. This is a blue felt. This is actually a pink felt. I had to cheat a little bit because I didn't have that orange red color that her hair really is, but I think the pink felt came out really cute. It's kind of like a fuchsia. Then I started thinking, what am I going to do with it? And I decided that it would make kind of just like a fun little coaster. So I put gold on the back of it. I used the shape creator that's in the Stellaire sewing machine. I've shown it to you before, where you just push the flower and it creates the shape. I put a piece of felt on the back behind the stabilizer and allowed it just to sew the shape of the embroidery design around, so that makes like a nice three-dimensional mug rug, whatever you want to call it. I think my daughter-in-law will like it, so I'll go ahead and I'll give it to her. It came out very, very cute. And it was a good experience, and I think if you start looking through some of the things you have that you can turn into applique, you'll really enjoy this new feature. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.